كتلة قولو حيرو ودلتيو ما صرتو عم قابش وتوسي توكوسي وأوعيتا ووثي مقوايو أسيريا تيفي مقوايو وقولكو يميديا.
Hello, my name is Joseph Pirayou. I want to welcome you to today's program. In the beginning, Ashur. Uh, today's program is, as I always say during the other programs, that every once in a while we will have Q&A, which means that last few programs, there were questions, comments that they were given, and this is about the last two programs. 2 weeks ago, it was about the Ashuri Martyrs Day. There was this beautiful flyer that was done by a good friend of mine, Ashur Mansur. I believe he did that. If not, somebody else has done it. Let me know. But this was really, gave us reminded us of what this Ashur Martyrs Day is all about. If you can get these dates, I mean, it goes back to 1832. Of course, if you want to put all the dates, starting when we became Christians and we were under the killing machine of the Persian kings, Shahpur II, and on. Then the Muslims took over, and the Kurds and the Turks. But this starts with 1832 and goes to all these difficult times, the 1914, 25 genocide, 1933 Simele, and on. It doesn't stop. It's up to 2015. So that was 2 weeks ago, the program about our Ashur Martyrs Day. And last week was about whose side are we on? And the flyer that we chose was, are you choosing between Israel, Palestine, Hamas, and it wasn't that on one side or on the other side. It's that the mentality that I've seen on social media regarding the Ashuri people, that they take sides with either one of these groups, mostly maybe Palestinians or Hamas. But the point was that, how about us? That energy, that focus, the temper, that you're so mad. What is happening to this specific group, the poor Palestinians, the children, families are dying. Some 40,000, I guess it's reported by Hamas that 40,000 Palestinians have died, which is very sad. But the point of the program was about, how about using that energy towards us? Because a week before that, we were talking about our genocide, and if you think it has stopped, it hasn't. Anyway, so today's Q&A is like regarding these two parts. As for the comments of the Ashur Martyrs Day, August 7th, was that I maybe didn't cover a lot on that subject. Well, if I want to cover about what has happened to us during these decades, centuries, if I start from August 7th, and every week I do a program for half an hour, it will not finish for at least maybe 10 to 15 years of what has happened to us, or we have let it happen to us ever since we became Christians, and it's still going. So that's another thing, that if you want to talk about this subject every week, it's just we can go different times. This is during the Shahpur the second, the Persian king, all the way up to now with ISIS, then in between the Turks and Kurds. So I picked a part that I did talk about uh, briefly, but I didn't remember exactly where it was, so I wasn't able to quote it exactly. So this is one of the what they call it, the letters or diary of Major E. Noel. He had the special duty that he was in the North Iraq Kurdistan, they call it, 1919. And he's writing about the massacre of 1915 in Diyarbakir Velayat, or area or province. So I'm just going to go just through a few paragraphs here. So there are like these people that they're a convoy of deportees were collected and told to prepare to start for an unknown destination in a few hours. Then they take him to his place, and it says that this was a procedure officially laid down, or more or less, in the case of the massacres in June. This one is doesn't say exactly when it was done, but I believe it's like sometime in August. So these people, the police commissioner, they made like 50,000, I think it's dinar, like money, and they're doing these like supposedly anti-British propaganda, so that people say that these Christians or Assyrians or Ashuris, Syriacs, these are on the side of the British. That's why we're doing what we're doing. So they take all these deportees. It says on the day of departure, by means of effusive promises of safe conduct and even a show of courtesy, the victims were induced to load themselves with jewels and ornaments. They're telling them, oh, you can have your things. We're just moving you from one side to the other side. You can have your jewels, ornaments, just put them on. Make sure you have them on, so you don't miss them. You don't leave them behind. Take everything that you have with you. So they do that. So which were removed from them on leaving the town. So they tell him, put everything on, don't forget anything, we come pick you up. The moment they come pick him up, they say, oh, unload everything, we put him in the bag, we give him back to you, I guess, later on. But the moment before they leave, they says, give us everything. The formality of reading the death sentence disappears, as before reaching the local Golgotha, swarms of Kurds have collected and impromptu carnage commences, in which the militia escort participates. So there's that militia escort. They tell them to put everything on. We're going to move you out to a safe place. When they come out, they strip him from all their belongings. They take him at the place that they meet. These Kurds, they come over there, and these people that they were helping the poor deportees, they engage, they participate in the carnage. This is the carnage that this Major E. Noel, that's his information that is giving, and the writer put it here in the book. The women are stripped and raped. Now, this is just one word, the stripped and raped. But when you think of the action of these militia, which are Kurds, and the Kurds that joined them, they raped these women. August 7th is a remembrance of these events. This is one small, not small in that it's not, its value is diminished, but it happens so many times. This is just one instance of many that has happened. Women are stripped and raped. Some of the younger ones are spared to adorn Muslim harems or be sold as slaves. You know what harem is? This is like one guy marries or has many women as he wants that, like, whenever it feels like it's an area, it comes, looks around, you here, you over there, you over there. The three of you, come on. I'm a little tired today, so only three today. Haram. They made haram of our women. Muslim haram. Anyway, the women are stripped and raped. Some of the younger ones are spared to adorn Muslim harems or be sold as slaves. The instructions to cover up traces of their deeds are disregarded. They don't care anymore if anybody knows what they're doing. Now, this is the part that I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago. The bodies are left naked on the plains. A curious detail, writes this major. The men on their stomachs, the women on their backs. That was the message that these Turks and Kurds were sending. Your men are on their stomachs. That means that we have done whatever we felt to do to them. I don't want to go to detail. And the women on their backs, meaning we did whatever we wanted. So your men and your women and the bodies are left naked after they done whatever they have with the women, raping, stripping. Just wanted to put some, like August 7th, when I did the program, some people say it wasn't enough. Just one small part. I mean, this whole book here, this is from the book Massacres, Resistant Protectors. There's so much information here about what the Kurds and Turks, systematically were planning. So this part that I found out in the book, it says that the ethnic cleansing had four parts, and like plan A, B, C, D. Let me go over that real quick. So plan A, so this is about ethnic cleansing. So they have a plan A, right? Which includes serious attempts from the side of the majority population to integrate, assimilate, or at least make an alliance with the minority, guaranteeing neutrality. This aims at making a common political, social, and cultural front in which residual ethnic differences cease to be important. So plan A is that they make friends with them, with the other ethnicities, which is like numbers may be smaller. So they gaining their trust. Plan B necessitates the deportation of the minority population to new settlements and under circumstances that are experienced as less dangerous for the majority. So they move them away, put them in a place that they can control. Usually these deportations are done strategically and minorities are removed piecemeal in steps starting with the areas that are considered most risky, such as a border area, large town, or near red roads. So they're not taking chance, slowly, small groups. Yeah, you come here, you come there. Slowly they gather them in one area that they can control them. This involuntary resettlement is inherently problematic because many members of the targeted groups will automatically resist, making implementation by civil means difficult. If Plan B does not succeed, then Plan C takes place. Now, deportation becomes universal and more violent, often requiring the use of military force to get the obstinate minority population to begin moving. Civil administrations normally cannot manage Plan C, and this task is assigned to the army, which employs its normal total ruthlessness to the effort, often considering the population to be removed as the enemy. So they start as friends, then slowly Plan A was make friends with them, get their trust, then say we're going to resettle you. Didn't work, boom, bring the military. Plan D, namely genocide. Since a military solution to the presence of minority populations almost always results in exaggerated violence, triggering instinctive self-defense and igniting a process that knows no natural limit. That was the part that I wanted to share you about the 2 weeks ago about uh, massacre, genocide, Assyrian, August 7th. One other thing that I forgot to talk about was that we have a Ashur Martyrs Day or Assyrian Martyrs Day, August 7th. And I was thinking, I don't know of any Syriac Martyrs Day or Aramean Martyrs Day or Chaldean Martyrs Day if they are doing anything, any commemoration or whatever memorial. I should ask some of my friends. It just hit me because they killed all of us. The enemy didn't care who we were or who we are. We say, I'm Assyrian, I'm Syrian, I'm Aramean, I'm Chaldean. The enemy says, good, you guys fight. While you guys fighting, not paying attention, we come and take care of you and annihilate you. Annihilate anyway. Right? So that was the part Q&A that there were like comments. I didn't cover much on the subject of genocide, Assyrian Martyrs Day. As I said, there is so much. Then there was this comment on the last program that I mentioned about we taking sides mostly. I didn't put the names, I'll thank you always for the comments. It's not that I'm for it or against it, but this is like one of the comments that was made is that where is the evidence of Hamas raping anyone? There is none. It's almost a year later, and I haven't seen any evidence. There is evidence of the Israeli army raping people, though. Okay. Israel, so you're against Israel. You have evidence of Israeli army raping people. I know you're upset. The Hamas, they haven't done anything from the information that you have. And you wanted to share that on that post that we had, the program that we did last week. The thing was that the program wasn't for or against any of these groups. My question to you, my brothers and sisters, is that does any of those two care about us? You know what I'm saying? When ISIS, this is 10 years ago, I don't think any Hamas, Israeli group, government, any Palestinian, maybe maybe I missed it. If you have something that says, oh, this Israeli group said that Ashur people are brothers and sisters, we are, or if Hamas or Palestinians said, we are with the Assyrian, we are, I would like to see that. I'm not saying we shouldn't care about these people. The thing is that taking sides with one of them, we are conflicting, attacking each other. I've seen comments, I've seen posts that are says, if you're not on the side of the Palestinians, you're not Assyrian. Take my name off your program or take my name off your befriend me or defriend me or whatever friend things they do on Facebook. Over who? They don't give a bleep about us. Why do we do that to other people? There's another book here I'm going to read from, The Path to Assyria. I believe every one of you, this is the latest on how to have, it's a call for national renewal, Path to Assyria. There's many languages. There's no excuse to say, well, it's in a language I don't understand. No, there is. So you can go and find and read it. It's a great information, great plan. I've talked to the author of the book, Afram Yaqub. Haven't talked to him in a while, but I'm going to read a few parts. There's a part he's talking about the exploited. And it says, when we summarize, let's see what time is it? When we summarize our actions in the context of war, we can sadly note that we have not waged a national armed struggle for our liberation. The question arises, what have we fought for and for whom? The bitter truth is that we have fought and fallen mainly for the interests of others during the last 100 years. On 3 occasions, we have indirectly served the interests of our enemies. When we took up arms with the support of the British during World War I and fought back Turkish armies, we enabled British control of the area. That is why Jacques Gorec, 100 years ago, wrote in his letter to the editor of the magazine L'Action, will we just have been heroes for a foreign cause? Not for ourselves, not for the sake of Assyria? Right? Good question. We're not talking fighting. That means you lose people, you get shot, you die, you lose an eye, you lose a leg for another one. This is not for your own land to fight to get it. Others' interests. This is military. There is no joke. This is not video game fights. They're like, oh, points are being, I won. This is real life. Our people gave their lives for these British. This guy, Jacques Gorec, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, 100 years ago wrote in his letter to the editor of the magazine, L'Action, will we just have been heroes for a foreign cause? Not for ourselves, not for the sake of Assyria, because when our people were fighting, they were fighting like nobody's business. Even the English or the British, they were like in awe. They say, we are English, and these non-English are fighting even more courageous than us for us. Subsequently, when we joined the Levi's force, we continued to contribute to this trend. The outcome was that we ended up under Arab occupation in the form of the state of Iraq. Unfortunately, these episodes were not the last times we were exploited. This occurred in the 1960s. We took up arms and participated for several decades in a struggle that led to Kurdish rule over large parts of Assyria in northern Iraq. I'm reading about this part about the exploited is that last program, when I put these two flags, for some reason we have lost our, I don't know, is it interest, our love, our care for ourselves? Maybe we have given up. Maybe there is no leadership we can look up to give us hope. I don't know what it is, but this is the part I'm reading, that how the effort, the energy that we had or we have, we used it for others. Like maybe we're not, oh, this is not a war on Facebook. No, the mentality, the attitude. So that was 1960. The exploitation continues today. The Assyrian militia groups that emerged in recent years with the support of parties who are basically hostile to our ethnic rights is also a form of exploitation. They are used, among other things, for propaganda purposes to undermine other Assyrian groups and presented to the surrounding world as evidence of enemies' benevolence towards the Christians. They call us Christians, not Ashuri, because some years ago they said, well, there is the Assyrian, there is the Syriac, Aramean, Chaldean. Let's not use that name. They're all Christians. So, Christians. I want you to remember this program is about preserving our identity. The number one priority of the beginning Ashur is preserving identity, because that's what they want to get rid of. Not only in a physical way of our people, but just name. We are Christians. No, I'm Ashuri. When all is said and done, we can say that we have indirectly shed a lot of blood for British, Arab, and Kurdish interests, but not a single drop solely and directly for our Assyria. Several thousand Assyrians have lost their lives in battles that have not been ours. Far more civilian Assyrians have been killed as a result of this misguided struggle. Our deep lack of empowerment has made us a passive people, constantly exploited by others and interests that run counter to our own. An observation by British officer staffer sums up our sickly state in a nutshell. In his book, he cites the bizarre situation that arose in the Levi's force, or Levi's force during the Simele massacre. This is 1933. It's a bizarre situation that arose in the Levi's forces during the Simele massacre. These are the Assyrians under the name of the Levi's, the group, the battalion, whatever it was called. This group, during the Simele massacre, bizarre situation arose in the Levi's force during Simele massacre when the Assyrians took part in the bombing of their own kin, their own people. A really extraordinary situation arose when the Assyrian Levies, this is what the officer staffers is actually being quoted. He says, a really extraordinary situation arose when the Assyrian Levies acted as guards to the Iraqi airplanes which were loading bombs to be dropped on their kinsmen. August 7th, that we have used, I don't know who used it as a date to remembrance, that's the Simele massacre. During that massacre, that airplanes were dropping bombs over our people. The airport was guarded by Ashuri Levies, Assyrians, protecting the bombers that killed their brothers and sisters, right? What time is it? Anyway, there's more I wanted to cover, but we were talking about leadership. Maybe that's the problem we have nowadays, about maybe no leadership is causing us to do what happened here. I don't know if I should say that, but there was something about leadership some years ago, the people in charge, people that they know what they're doing. And there was this joke. Can we put Sophia? Sophia Loren. So apparently, so that's how it goes. There is this very sick, psychologically sick man in the hospital, and they're trying to find a doctor or a physician to come and, heal him, make him well. So what the problem is with the guy is that he kept saying, I'm Sophia Loren. I'm Sophia Loren. I'm Sophia Loren. And like people, he's a guy, he's a man. They finally say, we have the best doctor, the best psychologist. They find him and they bring him over there. And the doctor says, son, you are not Sophia Loren. He says, no, I'm Sophia Loren. I'm Sophia Loren. He says, no, son, you're not Sophia Loren. So the patient says, okay, how do you know I'm not Sophia Loren? The doctor says, because I am Sophia Loren. So this is the state of our leadership. Is it? What's going on here? They come to cure us. They're crazier than other people. They even put us even lower. I'm Sophia Loren without the hair. Unfortunately, this is the state we are right now. But it's not hopeless. See, we were talking about leadership. Last weekend, they're like in San Jose, in Chicago, we had these Assyrian food festivals. And I don't know why they are done under churches, because it's a ethnicity, it's not a religious, but that's another story. It was the 30th anniversary. So for 30 years, they've been doing this. But before that, we used to have Assyrian or Ashuri. We were involved in international fairs here with all these countries that would come. They showed their culture. Every year, we were number one. Every year, we had our clothes. And this is from the Assyrian Star. You have the photo, right? Okay. Yeah. This is this is supposed to be Ashurbanipal and Queen Shamiram, and we're talking about leadership. Believe it or not, the Ashurbanipal that you see in this photo, it's me. This is 1986. So 38 years ago. So you can see I'm not changing much, right? So 30 years ago, but how did this happen? We had this fair, international fair from all the countries in the Santa Clara County Fairgrounds. Every country, the English, the Polish, French, South American, Indian, Korean, Chinese, everybody, they had a fair showing their food, showing their culture. And every year that we joined, this was like for 3 years. Then after that, they gave up. They say, this Ashur is taking over here. We can't do anything. And our food was one of the best. So I'm there with my parents. We had this guy, may he rest in peace, Sargon Yaldoy. He was the president of the association. He was a great motivator. That's the was part I was telling you about leadership. So we were helping. I was in the back helping making kebab. First time in my life I had beard. So I'm making kebab. Next thing Sargon comes to me, says, Joseph, you're Ashur Banipa. I said, no, I'm Sophia Loren. No, sorry. He says, you're Ashur Banipa. I said, what do you mean Ashur Banipa? He says, right now we don't have a guy to dress up as Ashur Banipa. So boom, they take me over there, put some makeup, put the clothes on, and the lady in the photo, Florence, the dress that I'm wearing, she had designed it. She has passed away recently, and she rests in peace. What I'm saying is that we did that over there, and it was under the association. It wasn't under any church. But the festivals are good. Everything is great. They're keeping our name. And one last thing is that I hope with the food that being served, we don't look like the Mona Lisa. Do you have a photo of Mona Lisa? What happened to her? Somebody put this on Facebook. I couldn't help not to share it with you. So Mona Lisa, after attending a Syrian food festival. At the end of the day, this program, as I said, is about our identity. Food festival under church, go ahead, do it. We did that some 38 years ago. Assyrian Star doesn't exist anymore, but we have Nineveh magazine. We have another Nineveh magazine that I know in Paris or in France in French language. We have publications that are keeping our names alive. Those are the ones that I know. What else do I know? Books. This book, Gods, Grave, Scholars, it's not about Assyrians, but it is about what they call it, archaeology, that our people are included. There is no archaeology about Arameans. There is no archaeology about Chaldeans, but Ashuri. It's interesting. What else we have? We have missing links about Assyria. Why are you people writing about Assyria? Story of Assyria. Who cares about Assyria? But somebody wrote about it. The deportation, Assyrian invasion, deportation of Israel. Yeah. It's all Assyrian. Bakupa camp. Beautiful information. This is where my grandparents, my mother's side, were. The account of work on behalf of the persecuted Assyrian Christians. Bakuba refugee camps. This is same author as this one. We have our smallest ally, Introduction to the History of the Assyrian Church or the Church of the Sassanid Empire. Wigram writes these. Why? How much money did you guys make by selling these books? What is that? The Assyrians and their neighbors. Someday I might read that book. Assyrian Tragedy. Marshumun. He was assassinated here, a couple of blocks from our house. We are here. We're going to stay here. We're going to be here. Maybe some mentality is not right. We don't appreciate genocide or what happened, or we take sides with this and that, but we will make it work. With the food festival being on the church, it's okay. Keep our name alive. Identity is under attack. That's all that matters. And as we do always at the end of the program, ready? Ahia, Ashur, Chaya. Mabqila, thank you, and God bless. Bye.
Sheikhani.